Some rifles are rising in price so quickly that even longtime collectors are shocked. Guns that once cost under $1,000 are now selling for several times more, and these 10 rifles could be the next breakout hits. Starting with number 10, we have Ruger Mini 14 GB model. Ruger manufactured the Mini 14 GB model from 1982 through 2005. Chambered in 5.56 by 45 mm NATO, the semi-automatic rifle features a 20-round magazine capacity, 18.5-inch barrel, and gas-operated piston system. The GB designation indicates government model featuring bayonet lug and flash suppressor. Overall length measures 37.25 inches and weight without magazine is approximately 6.9 pounds. Production totaled approximately 20 to 30,000 units across the manufacturing period. Law enforcement agencies purchased GB models during the 1980s and 1990s for patrol rifle applications. Agencies, including departments in California, Texas, and Florida, issued GB variants. The law enforcement provenance creates documented service history enhancing collector value. Surplus GB models entering civilian markets during the 2000s and 2010s sold for $600 to $900. Current market prices range from $1,400 to $2,200 for examples with documented law enforcement service. The bayonet lug and flash suppressor distinguish GB models from standard Mini 14 rifles. Federal assault weapons legislation from 1994 through 2004 restricted manufacture of rifles with these features. Though GB models manufactured before September 1994 remained legal, the pre-ban status creates legal distinctions affecting collector desirability. Ruger discontinued GB production in 2005, creating finite supply. Collector demand increased substantially from 2020 through 2024. Auction results show GB models appreciating approximately 180% from 2020 to 2024. The appreciation reflects recognition of law enforcement history and pre-ban status. Market analysts project continued appreciation through 2026 as collectors recognize GB significance. Current pricing suggests potential doubling to $2,800 to $4,400 by late 2026. At number 9, we have Steyr AUG A1 pre-ban. Austria's Steyr manufactured the AUG Army Universal Gewehr from 1977, with U.S. imports beginning in 1983. Chambered in 5.56 by 45 mm NATO. The bullpup configured rifle features a 30-round magazine capacity, 20-inch barrel, and gas-operated rotating bolt. Overall length measures 31.1 inches with stock extended. Weight without magazine is approximately 7.9 pounds. The Gun Control Act of 1968 restricted importation, with pre-1989 imports representing the most desirable variants. Steyr imported approximately 8,000 AUG rifles to the United States from 1983 through 1989. Import restrictions implemented in 1989 halted further Steyr factory imports. Domestic manufacturers later produced semi-automatic versions, but pre-ban Steyr imports command substantial premiums. Pre-ban examples feature Austrian proof marks and specific serial number ranges documenting import period. Standard AUG rifles imported during the 1983 through 1989 period sold for $1,200 to $1,800 when new. Current market prices range from $4,500 to $7,500 for pre-ban examples in excellent condition. Complete rifles retaining original Swarovski optics command $6,000 to $9,000. The appreciation reflects import restrictions, creating permanent scarcity and bullpup design distinctiveness. Military adoption by Austrian forces and subsequent adoption by over 30 nations validates design excellence. The military pedigree enhances collector interest. The bullpup configuration, placing the action behind the trigger, reduces overall length while maintaining barrel length, creating handling characteristics distinct from conventional designs. Market data indicates pre-ban AUG values appreciated approximately 240% from 2019 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation, with potential doubling to $9,000 to $15,000 by late 2026. At number 8, we have Springfield Armory M1A, early production pre-ban. Springfield Armory manufactured the M1A as a semi-automatic version of the M14 rifle. Chambered in 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO, the gas-operated rifle features a 20-round magazine capacity and 22-inch barrel. Overall length measures 44.33 inches, and weight without magazine is approximately 9.2 pounds. Early production from 1974 through 1986 represents the most collectible variants. Early serial number ranges from the 1970s and early 1980s feature USGI parts, including receivers, barrels, and operating rods. Springfield Armory sourced military surplus components during initial production, creating rifles with genuine military provenance. Later production utilized commercial parts as military surplus exhausted. Collectors prioritize early examples with maximum USGI parts content. Standard early production M1A rifles sold for $600 to $900 during the 1980s. Current market prices range from $2,200 to $3,500 for early examples with documented USGI parts. Complete national match variants from early production command $3,000 to $4,500. The appreciation reflects USGI parts scarcity and M14 historical significance. So the M14 served as U.S. military standard rifle from 1959 through 1970 before replacement by the M16. The military service creates historical context enhancing M1A collector appeal. The 7.62 by 51 mm NATO chambering provides substantial energy suitable for designated marksman applications. Market data indicates early M1A values appreciated approximately 195% from 2019 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation with potential doubling to $4,400 to $7,000 by late 2026. At number 7, we have IMI Galil ARM and AR. Israel Military Industries manufactured the Galil from 1972. The ARM assault rifle machine gun and AR assault rifle variants chamber 5.56 by 45 mm NATO with 35-round or 50-round magazine capacities. The ARM features a bipod and carrying handle, while the AR represents the standard configuration. Barrel length measures 18.1 inches, overall length is 38.6 inches, and weight without magazine is approximately 8.6 pounds for the ARM. U.S. imports of Israeli-manufactured Galil rifles occurred from 1983 through 1989. Import restrictions implemented in 1989 halted further IMI imports. Approximately 2,500 to 3,500 Galil rifles entered the United States during this period. The limited import window creates substantial scarcity. Later domestic production under various manufacturers produced semi-automatic versions, but original IMI imports command significant premiums. Original IMI Galil ARM rifles sold for $1,500 to $2,200 when imported during the 1980s. Current market prices range from $5,500 to $8,500 for pre-ban IMI examples in excellent condition. complete rifles retaining original accessories including bipods, carrying handles, and wire stocks command $7,000 to $10,000. The appreciation reflects import ban scarcity and Israeli military provenance. The Galil design derives from Finnish Valmet rifles incorporating improvements to the Kalashnikov pattern. Israeli military adoption and service through multiple conflicts creates documented history, enhancing collector appeal. The bottle opener integrated into the wire stock represents distinctive feature appreciated by collectors. Market data indicates IMI Galil values appreciated approximately 285% from 2019 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation, with potential doubling to $11,000 to $17,000 by late 2026. At number 6, we have Norinco Type 56 SKS Early Military Imports. China manufactured the Type 56 SKS from 1956 through the 1980s. Chambered in 7.62 by 39 mm, the semi-automatic rifle features a 10-round fixed magazine, 20.5-inch barrel, and gas-operated tilting bolt. Overall length measures 40.2 inches, and weight without ammunition is approximately 8.5 pounds. U.S. imports occurred from 1988 through 1994 before import restrictions halted Chinese firearm imports. Early military imports from 1988 through 1992 feature military proof marks, original military finish, and intact bayonets. These examples represent actual Chinese military surplus rather than commercial production. The military provenance creates documented service history, enhancing collector value. Later, commercial imports from 1992 through 1994 feature commercial finishes and modified configurations less desirable to collectors. Standard Type 56 SKS rifles imported during the late 1980s sold for $75 to $150. The extremely low pricing reflected massive import volumes and limited collector interest. Current market prices range from $600 to $1,200 for standard examples and $900 to $1,800 for early military imports with matching numbers and excellent condition. The appreciation represents one of the most dramatic value increases in firearms collecting. Import restrictions implemented in 1994 halted Chinese firearm imports permanently, creating finite supply. No additional Type 56 rifles can legally enter the United States, making current domestic inventory the total available supply. The permanent import ban drives long-term appreciation as remaining examples are lost to deterioration, accidents, or confiscation. Market data indicates Type 56 SKS values appreciated approximately 650% from 2010 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation with potential doubling to $1,200 to $3,600 by late 2026. At number 5, we have Heckler and Koch HK91 and G3 pre-ban. German manufacturer Heckler & Koch produced the G3 rifle from 1959. The HK91 represents the semi-automatic civilian variant chambered in 7.62 by 51 mm NATO. The roller-delayed blowback rifle features a 20-round magazine capacity, 17.7-inch barrel, and overall length of 40.4 inches. Weight without magazine is approximately 9.7 pounds. U.S. imports occurred from 1976 through 1989. Heckler & Koch imported approximately 15,000 to 20,000 HK91 rifles to the United States during the import period. Import restrictions implemented in 1989 halted HK factory imports. Later, domestic production under license occurred, but original HK imports command substantial premiums. Pre-ban examples feature HK markings, German proof marks, and specific serial number ranges. Standard HK-91 rifles sold for $800 to $1,200 when imported during the 1980s. Current market prices range from $3,500 to $5,500 for pre-ban HK imports in excellent condition. Complete rifles retaining original accessories including bipods and scope mounts command $4,500 to $6,500. The appreciation reflects import ban scarcity and HK manufacturing quality. The G3 achieved military adoption by over 50 nations, creating documented service history. German manufacture at Oberndorf facilities represents premium quality control. The roller-delayed blowback system provides reliable function with reduced parts count compared to gas-operated designs. Market data indicates HK-91 values appreciated approximately 310% from 2018 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation with potential doubling to $7,000 to $11,000 by late 2026. At number 4 we have FAL G Series pre-1968 import. Belgian manufacturer Fabrique Nationale produced FAL rifles at Herstal facilities. U.S. imports occurred from the late 1950s through 1968. The G Series designation represents specific production batches during the early 1960s. Chambered in 7.62 by 51 mm NATO, the gas-operated rifle features a 20-round magazine capacity, 21-inch barrel, and overall length of 43 inches. Weight without magazine is approximately 9.5 pounds. The Gun Control Act of 1968 restricted importation of military configuration rifles, creating finite supply of pre-1968 imports. Approximately 5,000 to 8,000 G Series FAL rifles entered the United States before the import restriction. The narrow import window creates substantial scarcity. Pre-1968 import status creates legal distinctions affecting collector desirability and market values. Standard pre-1968 G Series FAL rifles sold for $300 to $500 when imported during the early 1960s. Current market prices range from $5,000 to $8,500 for G Series examples with original configuration and documentation. Complete rifles with original accessories including bipods and carrying handles command $6,500 to $10,000. The appreciation reflects 1968 import cutoff creating permanent scarcity. Belgian manufacture at Herstal represents superior quality compared to license-produced variants from other nations. The ventilated handguard and metric pattern components distinguish Belgian production. Military adoption by over 90 nations creates extensive service history. Market data indicates pre-1968 G Series FAL values appreciated approximately 385% from 2017 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation with potential doubling to $10,000 to $17,000 by late 2026. At number 3 we have Colt AR-15 SP1. Colt manufactured the SP1 as the first semi-automatic civilian AR-15 variant from 1963 through 1984. Chambered in 5.56 by 45 mm NATO, the gas-operated rifle features a 20-round magazine capacity, 20-inch barrel, and overall length of 39 inches. Weight without magazine is approximately 6.5 pounds. The SP1 designation indicates Sporter Model 1 in Colt nomenclature. Early SP1 production from 1963 through the early 1970s features characteristics including triangular handguards, three-prong flash hiders, and pencil-profile barrels matching military M16 A1 specifications. Serial number ranges beginning with SP prefix identify SP1 variants. Production totaled approximately 100,000 units across the manufacturing period. Later, AR-15 variants replaced the SP1, with Colt discontinuing the designation in 1984. Standard SP1 rifles sold for $300 to $500 during the 1960s and 1970s. Current market prices range from $2,500 to $4,500 for standard SP1 examples in good condition. Early production from the 1960s with three-prong flash hiders commands $3,500 to $6,000. Complete rifles with original boxes and documentation sell for $5,000 to $8,000. The appreciation reflects historical significance as first civilian AR-15 and pre-ban status. The SP1 represents the foundation of civilian AR-15 ownership, establishing the platform that dominates current markets. The historical significance as Eugene Stoner's design reaching civilian markets enhances collector appeal. The early production characteristics matching military M16A1 specifications create authenticity valued by collectors. Market data indicates SP1 values appreciated approximately 420% from 2015 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation, with potential doubling to $5,000 to $9,000 by late 2026. At number 2 we have Dragunov SVD, Chinese NDM-86, and Russian Tiger. The Soviet Union developed the Dragunov SVD, Sniperskaya Vintovka Dragunova, in 1963. Chambered in 7.62 by 54 mm R, the semi-automatic designated marksman rifle features a 10-round magazine capacity, 24.4-inch barrel, and overall length of 48.2 inches. Weight without magazine and optics is approximately 9.5 pounds. China manufactured the NDM-86 variant, and Russia produced civilian Tiger variants for export. Chinese NDM-86 imports to the United States occurred from 1988 through 1994 before import restrictions halted Chinese firearm imports. Approximately 1,500 to 2,000 NDM-86 rifles entered the United States. Russian Tiger imports occurred sporadically from the 1990s through 2014, when import restrictions halted Russian firearm imports. Combined imports totaled approximately 3,000 to 4,000 rifles. NDM-86 rifles sold for $1,200 to $1,800 when imported during the early 1990s. Russian Tiger variants sold for $2,500 to $3,500 during import periods. Current market prices range from $6,500 to $10,000 for NDM-86 examples in excellent condition. Russian Tiger variants command $8,000 to $13,000. Complete rifles retaining original PSO-1 optics sell for $10,000 to $16,000. The extreme scarcity created by import bans on both Chinese and Russian variants drives sustained appreciation. No additional Dragunov variants can legally enter the United States, making current domestic inventory the total available supply. The designated marksman role and distinctive appearance create appeal among collectors. Market data indicates Dragunov values appreciated approximately 485% from 2014 to 2024. Analysts project continued appreciation with potential doubling to $13,000 to $20,000 by late 2026. Finally, at number 1 we have Winchester Model 70 Pre-64. Winchester manufactured the Model 70 from 1936 through 1963 in the configuration collectors designate Pre-64, chambered in various calibers including .3006 Springfield, .270 Winchester, and .300 H&H Magnum. The bolt-action rifle features controlled round feeding, Mauser-style claw extractor, and 3-position safety. Barrel lengths range from 24 to 26 inches depending on caliber. Weight ranges from 8 to 9 pounds. Production totaled approximately 600,000 rifles across all variants. Winchester redesigned the Model 70 in 1964, eliminating controlled round feeding and substituting stamped parts for machined components. The cost-cutting measures reduced manufacturing expenses but eliminated features collectors valued. The 1964 redesign created immediate distinction between pre-64 and post-64 production, with collectors recognizing pre-64 superiority. Winchester later reintroduced controlled round feeding in premium variants, validating pre-64 design excellence. Standard pre-64 Model 70 rifles in common calibers sold for $100 to $200 when new during the 1950s and early 1960s. Current market prices range from $1,800 to $3,500 for standard calibers in good condition. Desirable calibers including .3, 00H, and H Magnum command $3,000 to $5,500. Supergrade variants with upgraded wood and checkering sell for $4,500 to $8,000. National Match target rifles command $6,000 to $12,000. Collector demand increased substantially from 2015 through 2024 as shooters recognized pre-64 manufacturing quality and controlled round feeding advantages. Auction results show pre-64 Model 70 values appreciating approximately 265% from 2015 to 2024. The appreciation reflects recognition of craftsmanship standards and finite supply with no additional production possible. Market analysts project continued appreciation through 2026 as collectors compete for declining available inventory. Current pricing suggests potential doubling to $3,600 to $7,000 for standard variants and $9,000 to $16,000 for supergrade examples by late 2026. These 10 rifles demonstrate how import restrictions, manufacturing discontinuations, historical significance, and collector recognition create appreciation trajectories potentially doubling values within 12 months.